Hi everyone. So let's do an all signs reading today. We'll try to capture a couple energies for each of the signs and try to see what is going on in all of the different energies for the day. So I have ancestor messages and I have a tarot deck here that we will use to do that. We're going to start with Aries. We're going to move through Pisces, and feel free to check whichever signs are resonating the most for you today. So we're starting with Aries, and we have putting a final end to this. Romantic person. An opportunity for love. Well, this is interesting, Aries. This is making me feel like you're putting an end to something perhaps romantic. It doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic ending, but I do see a romantic beginning. And a lot of times, as we know with the energy and the way the energy works, is that you have to release something in order to get your next thing. You have to empty out the room in order for the new things to come into the room, right? So this is giving me like a very 10 of Swords type of energy, that you're putting an end to something, and it could be something that was painful, in order for you now to open up your heart and allow something new to come in. So there's the Star, which I'm going to flip over. 7 of Cups. Oh wow, there's a 10. There's that 10 of Wands, and I thought that with this putting a final end to this, I thought of the 10 of Swords. Either way, it's certainly an ending, because you just can't continue on. This is an unsustainable energy. You can't stay in a 10 of Wands energy forever, Aries. And so I feel like you are putting an end to something that I feel like you had a lot of hope for, something that maybe you put a lot of dedication and time and energy into. But what I feel with this 7 of Cups is that the relationship or situation that you are ending became so confusing that it just didn't really make sense to you anymore. It didn't add up anymore. And now you're feeling like you want to maybe perhaps go in a different way, because again, this energy of confusion became unsustainable. There's only so much you can do in a relationship where you feel confused all the time, because it's just not a healthy energy to be in. And I do get the sense with this 10 of Wands that you tried to pursue, you tried to be the warrior in this. This is a very Aries type of energy, to carry all this fire and all this passion for something. But you can only do that again for so long before your legs just give out. You can't carry these 10 Wands forever. And certainly not if you're confused about why you're even doing it in the first place. So I do get the sense, Aries, that you are wrapping something up that just became too exhausting and draining, so that you can find a new opportunity. Perhaps the opportunity is already here. So what else do we have for Aries? Wow. You have 2 opportunities showing up. These feel like the aces to me, an opportunity for money and an opportunity for love. So perhaps you have wrapped up some kind of a karmic cycle, because the universe tends to give us these major blessings when we wrap it up, let it go. There it is. And so I do get this sense that because you've been honest with yourself, perhaps about the confusion that this relationship has offered to you, that you're finally releasing it. Your advice here is to let this go. Again, eventually gravity applies. Your legs are going to give out. You're not going to be able to sustain that 10 of Wands energy forever. And so I do get the sense that you are being honest with yourself about what's in front of you, new opportunities, releasing things that are really draining and confusing. There's the Lovers. We're going to flip that over. 2 of Cups and the 6 of Cups. So the Lovers is about choosing from your higher self. So I'm going to show you this card. I'm going to cover up these people. But maybe you can see in this card where this man is looking at the woman, but the woman is looking at her higher self. And that's what the Lovers card is. The most basic definition of the Lovers card is listen to your higher self and don't be influenced by the person who is around you. And that's this feeling that we're getting here, that you may have had a deep connection with this person. You may have tried really hard for a long time to keep this going. And especially with this Six of Cups here, it does feel like there's a long history and perhaps even a loving history. But if you are carrying too much of the burden, if it's too draining, and certainly if it's confusing, Aries, it's probably time, as the advice here says, to let it go. Be honest with yourself. And then you have these two separate opportunities, money and love, that are trying to come in. But it requires you to release this. You can't accept new love. You can't put your hands out and accept new love or new money if you have all of this in your hands already, right? The universe cannot give it to you. Your hands are full. And that's why the advice is to let this go, to allow the new stuff in. So that is what I have for you, Aries. So let's move on to Taurus. So for Taurus, we have waiting patiently. Well, that sounds like you. Stay positive and curious person. So, okay, so you're definitely waiting on something. That seems clear, but you may be losing hope. You might be feeling like it's never going to happen. And with this curious person coming through, I get this sense that you really want something to happen. You're waiting for something to change. You're waiting for progress. You're waiting for results when it comes to something. But you're being patient. You are Taurus. That's kind of your wheelhouse, is patience. But I do get the sense that you could be losing your positivity. You could be starting to feel negatively about it because you feel like you're not getting the answers that this curious part of you wants. It's like you want it now. So there's the King of Cups. So there's a person here. Seven of Swords and the Sun. So the person you're dealing with, this King of Cups person, I feel like that's who you're waiting for. So make that make sense for you. But I get the sense that you're feeling perhaps like this relationship is a bit one-sided, or perhaps this person is keeping something from you, or this person is avoiding you, or avoiding something when it comes to you. And I feel like that's why you're starting to lose hope about this person. But because the Stay Positive and the Sun are here, I get the sense that you're going to get your answers. You're going to be able to see very clearly about this person and why they've been perhaps avoiding you, or perhaps avoiding their feelings, or you feel like they're lying to you about something. I get this sense that you're going to find out because we have Curious coming in with the Sun. But because the advice is stay positive, I feel like it's not going to be bad news that you're getting. It's going to click. You're going to see very clearly what you weren't sure about before. And the thing that you're losing hope about, the thing that this person is making you feel like, I don't know if I can really trust this. You're waiting patiently. The answers are coming in. And I get the sense that you're not really going to be disappointed, Taurus, with whatever this is you're waiting for. So what else do we have for Taurus? Oh, we have celebrating. I love that. Hurting from heartbreak. And reliable person. So you are recovering from something. But again, it feels like good news because we did have stay positive. Let's see what the tarot says. So we have the Moon. Oh. King of Swords. Oh. And Judgment. Okay. Now I get it, Taurus. So there's a person in your past energy who absolutely broke your heart. This is King of Swords person. It could be the same person, Taurus. I'm getting that this absolutely could be the same person who broke your heart with this Seven of Swords. But I feel like you don't know the whole story. There's something here with the Moon and the Sun being in your reading. I really get the sense that because you waited patiently, because you faced your fears, you stuck with it, you stayed positive, even though you didn't know what was going on. There's something here that you didn't know, but it ended up being something that you could really, it almost brought the two of you closer together. This feels like a mirroring type of energy, Taurus. And what I mean by that is our interpersonal relationships, the people that hold the mirror up to our own faces, it reveals to us the way we feel about ourselves. So in the past, and this is just an example, Taurus, in the past, if you were chasing this person. And now perhaps you've stopped, but now you're wondering, well, where did they go and why did they do that? I feel like that was meant to teach you how to love yourself. I think that's why celebrating is here. So someone broke your heart in the past. It was meant for you to see that you need to love yourself better. With Judgment and Reliable Person, I get the sense that you have learned to do that. You listened to your intuition. You figured out how to be reliable and show up for yourself. And because of that, because you faced those fears and you understood that shadow side of you, I feel like that's why this information is now coming through about the truth in the situation and why you had to go through that. Sometimes conflict with the people in our lives is meant to show us about ourselves. It's vital to have these conflicts to shake up the energy so you can be honest with yourself about how you see yourself and the way that you're presenting yourself to others. The way you love yourself is the way people are going to love you back. But I feel like this person, you've done the same for this person. You have mirrored back to this person where they now they've laid down the sword and they're becoming this King of Cups. That's the thing that you're celebrating because you both faced your shadow side. That's what the moon is saying. So Taurus, I do feel like both of you have absolutely faced your shadow sides. You've gone through some kind of a healing, some kind of a transformation. It feels like maybe you mutually broke each other's hearts, but you're waiting patiently for this person to come back around or whatever that is. And it's going to be good news because we had stay positive, celebrating, and we have the sun. Oh, that's interesting, Taurus. That took me a minute to figure that out, but we got there. So that is what I have for you. So let's move on to Gemini. So for Gemini, we have detaching, be fair, and confident person. So Gemini, are you moving on from something? Are you detaching from something? It's giving me this feeling that it just wasn't enough. With the be fair coming through, it feels like that is your advice, to be fair. And I get the sense that this is saying to be fair to yourself. And with confident person, I feel like whatever this is that you've been through, that you are detaching from, I get the sense that it has left you more confident, that you've grown, you've learned, you've evolved from whatever this particular situation is. So there's the 10 of Pentacles, the 8 of Swords, and the 3 of Swords. Okay, I get it. So you're detaching from something that perhaps you have a long history with this 10 of Pentacles. But I definitely get the sense that you're feeling stuck in this energy. This feels like a very heavy 10 of Pentacles, that you felt stuck. Maybe it was stable, but it definitely doesn't feel like you want this, whatever this is. It may look appealing. It may be appealing to the outside world. It may be that people aren't going to understand why you're detaching from this because this looks like the perfect picture. But I get the sense that it's just not enough for you. This 8 of Swords and be fair is saying that you may not be, I already got that, Gemini, that you're not being fair to yourself. That you feel stuck in an energy, maybe because you don't want to break someone else's heart, or maybe you don't want to break the news to your partner or your family or your boss, whatever. You don't want to break the news that it's really just not for you, and you really need to move away from this trap that you feel that you are in. And being fair to yourself is the key. And I feel like this confident person, I get this sense that you know you're going to break someone's heart. You know that whoever you're detaching from is probably not going to receive it all that well. But I also get this sense that your confidence, this evolution that you've been growing and learning, and all of the work you've been doing behind the scenes is the thing that you're going to realize you have to put yourself first. A confident person always puts themselves first because you have to. That's the only way. It's the only way to learn these lessons. It's the only way to release ourselves from these traps we put ourselves in. And it's the way to detach and move on because we choose our own adventure, right, Gemini? So what else do we have for you? We have student. That's that lesson. You're learning the lesson. Asking for help. An aha moment. So definitely this is a spiritual lesson. I don't think you're being tested per se. I just think you're meant to learn something about your own confidence, about not having to show up and be everything for everyone. Maybe you were the one who was providing the 10 of Pentacles for people who made you feel trapped. But regardless, it's time for you to ask for help because you're in this trap. And it starts, I believe, Gemini, with detaching from this situation. And then you're learning, you're growing, you're expanding, you're becoming a more confident person. And you're having that awakening, you're having that aha moment, that epiphany that comes through that says, wait a second, I really don't need to be in this trap. This trap was not really meant to be my life. This trap was meant to teach me something with the student. So then we have Death, Queen of Swords. There's that aha moment right there. The Queen of Swords holds the aha moment right there in her hand, in that sword, in the form of a sword. That is the aha moment. And so I do get the sense that you know that this has to come to an end. You're already detaching. You know you're learning from this. I feel like there's also someone here who... so I get the sense, again, if I can backtrack to asking for help, I do get the sense that there's someone in this 10 of Pentacles energy that probably takes advantage, is what I'm getting from that. Because when you try to ask for help, I get the sense that you get a cold shoulder, or you get nothing, you get crickets. But when this person needs something, or this group of people needs something, they're always around, ready with their hand out for you to give. But when you ask for help, it's like you just get crickets. That's what I'm getting. And so the lesson here is about putting an end to that, and not just an end to the relationship, but an end to that old version of you, Gemini, who tolerated that, who decided that that was okay, that that was enough for you. Because it's not enough for you. And I think that's what your aha moment is, to set some boundaries with this 9 of Wands with these people or this person, because you're tired of being the only one who's giving in a situation. And you've been doing it for a long time, I think, because the 10 of Pentacles and the Death card are all about a process. These things don't happen quickly. And so I feel like that proves to me that you've been in this for a very long time, Gemini. But that aha moment is coming. You're setting your boundaries and you're deciding, this is not going to be enough for me. I shouldn't have to ask for help from the people who I'm constantly giving to. So that is what I have for you. So let's move on to Cancer. So for Cancer, we have taking care of yourself. Watch how your life changes. I love that. And having enough to share. Wow. Okay, so you're being blessed. And I think, Cancer, that you have put yourself first when it comes to something. And I love that. And the universe loves that. When you put yourself first, when you value yourself, when you treat yourself the right way, when you have self-care, then all of a sudden you can watch how you get blessed with things. And having enough to share is really about your blessings, that you have more than enough, not just for you, but to share with other people. So Cancer, do you feel like this, that you've been blessed with something recently, or maybe you can sense that there is something coming in for you with watch how your life changes? And certainly because you've been putting yourself first. Does that sound like your story? Oh, wow. So there's the 4 of Swords, the Knight of Wands, and the Tower. Okay. So yes, this is going to be how your life changes. So you're being freed from something. And again, Cancer, it's because you put yourself first. This 4 of Swords is about retracting your energy back to you. Being able to trust in yourself, trust in your own resources, trust that you can accept any challenge that comes before you. This is about just getting calm in the mind and retracting and saying, I don't really need to rely on anyone else. I can take care of myself. And the 4 of Swords is proving that you have done that. There's a person in your energy, and this is going to be somebody different for all of you, but there's a person here who the universe really wants out of your life. But because you have realized that you don't need this person, whoever this is for you, you do not need this person, Cancer. And because you're taking care of yourself, the universe is rewarding you with the Tower. And in this instance, so there's a couple of different ways of reading the tower. In this instance, I get the sense that you were trapped in this tower. And so the tower is coming down so that you can be released from it. So if you felt stuck with a person, maybe someone who is super charming or someone who love bombs or someone who keeps coming around and you can't say no to them. I mean, make that part make sense for you and your story. But I get this sense that the universe is coming to free you from this because it says, watch how your life changes. You're not only going to feel like you were released from the trap of this person, but your blessings are coming in too. I love this for you, Cancer. And it's because you learned the greatest lesson of all, which is taking care of yourself. So what else do we have for Cancer? We have used discipline, escaping, and thinking of memories. So this escaping is that same idea that the tower, you're being freed from the tower. You're escaping from the grips of this person or whatever this was that maybe you felt like you couldn't get away. The use discipline is coming through as advice, which tells me to maintain this posture of withdrawing yourself, withdrawing your energy, staying with boundaries or distance from this person because their world is about to be rocked. And so I do get the sense that they're going to come towards you again. Even though you're feeling like you're totally freed from this person, they're not going to give up because there's something that they need from you. So when they come back, the use discipline is saying, make sure you maintain these boundaries, make sure you maintain this distance, because this person is going to try to hook you back in by using memories to get you to come back into the situation. But you're meant to remember this tower, and you're meant to just, when this tower comes down, you're meant to hit the ground running, Cancer, and get out of Dodge before this person can metaphorically find you, because they're going to try to hook you back in by using nostalgia and memories and past things and perhaps tugging on your heartstrings. So this use discipline with the Four of Swords is pretty clear that you're meant to keep that distance. The Hierophant, the Hanged Man, and the Ace of Cups. This person came into your life very specifically to teach you a lesson. I think this Hanged Man energy is reminding you to keep that lesson in your back pocket. Make sure that this change in perspective that you've been through, make sure that you understand that that change in perspective is meant to be applied to all future relationships. So Cancer, this seems like a very significant type of relationship that you were involved in, one where a person really had you feeling kind of trapped. But again, because you put yourself first, the universe came in, gave you the out, gave you the window to jump out of, and now you can apply it going forward into all of your new situations because you learned it. The Hierophant is telling me that this person taught you a lesson. The Hanged Man is telling me that you learned it. It really enlightened you. So keep that up. Keep that lesson with you forever for all future love endeavors or otherwise. Anywhere where you put your heart, make sure that you understand not to get wrapped up in traps. So that is what I have for you, Cancer. So moving on to Leo. So for Leo, we have loving each other, create, and not lowering your standards. So the advice coming through, Leo, is create. And that's a really good energy for you, Leo, because I do feel like because of the passion and the fire that is you, I feel like the creation comes to you easily. That sacral chakra type of creative energy comes to Leos generally pretty easily. And so I feel like you're being called to do that. So if you're in some kind of a relationship or there's something that you feel a strong bond with not lowering your standards, I get the sense that perhaps you're not looking at the situation very clearly. You could be lowering your standards when it comes to someone that you think you have a strong bond with. And so with the advice being create, I would say do just that. Maybe don't focus so much on loving this other person. Focus more on what you're meant to co-create with the universe. Oh, so there's a Five of Swords, the Emperor, and the Seven of Wands. Well, the Seven of Wands is about not lowering your standards, isn't it? The Seven of Wands is about elevating your standards. So that's interesting that those came in together for you, Leo. Not to mention the Seven of Wands is your card. So, or one of your cards. So with this Five of Swords, there's something you're not seeing about this person that you are dealing with right now, Leo. There's something you are not seeing. And that is why this Emperor came in with create and your advice, that focus all of your attention on your creations right now. Is there something you're working on, Leo? Is there some passion project? Is there some business? Is there something you're building, writing, creating, painting? It doesn't matter. You'll know what it is. That's exactly where you're meant to focus your spiritual energy right now. That's how you're going to get control of your life back with the Emperor, because there's something here you don't know about this person. And we're getting to not lower your standards twice now, Leo, when it comes to someone that you think you love, or maybe someone you do love, but there's something you don't know below the surface. So this is about focusing on the universe and what you're meant to create. So then we have generous person, intuitive person, and release this. So I do feel that you are being too generous with this person in your energy. And Leos are highly intuitive. That fire energy is very intuitive, very connected to spirit. It can be short-lived. Leo, you might feel like you get these sparks of intuition and then they disappear. They go up in smoke almost. But you do have a strong intuition, and this is confirming that. So this is saying to really use your intuition when you're looking at this situation, when you're looking at this person, and maybe don't be so generous with them. Maybe don't give them so much of your love or your time or your energy, because the advice is to release it and to not lower your standards. So there's the Four of Pentacles, Justice, and the Page of Pentacles. Yes, this is a person who's never going to be enough for you, is what I'm getting. You're showing up as a generous person, and this person is showing up as greedy and not giving. So I feel like you could be giving and giving and giving to this situation, and they're just taking and keeping it to themselves and not giving anything back. Your intuition is the thing that's going to set balance to this, understanding that this is not fair to you, that you're being generous and someone else is holding back. I also feel like the universe could be coming in with a little bit of divine intervention when it comes to this, because I see this potential here for you. When it says release this and there's a Page of Pentacles here, this is always your potential. And so I feel like, especially because this was calling you to create, and because this is a Page of Pentacles, I get the sense that once you release this person, you use your intuition to know that this is not fair and balanced. The universe is going to give you some kind of a reward, some kind of a potential, some kind of a kickstart to whatever this is you're creating, because the Pentacles are about those tangible things, and so is create. And so I do feel like that first message you were getting, Leo, about whatever that is you're meant to co-create with the universe, go for it, because they're giving you this potential. They're giving you this kickstart to get this going. But it's coming in with release this. So it does probably require you releasing this person who just keeps taking from you, so that you can set the scales right, so that you can get your reward. So that is what I have for you, Leo. So moving on to Virgo. So for Virgo, we have cooperating. That sounds like you, Virgo. Intelligent person. That sounds like you too. And taking for granted. So Virgo, is there a person in your energy that you're working with or something that you're working on? Is there something in your environment that you could be missing an opportunity? Is there some way, some person, some situation that you could be working with, but you may be dismissing it? With intelligent person, I'm getting the sense that you want to do something by yourself. Maybe you feel like this person is not going to be able to contribute to whatever this is that you're working on. So there's the Six of Wands, Six of Pentacles, and the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, this absolutely confirms what I was saying. Cooperating is coming in with the Six of Wands. So there is an opportunity here for you to collaborate, to cooperate, to work together, to put heads together even. And I feel like this is a very strong spiritual lesson for you, is what I'm getting from this. That when this opportunity comes along, this is about you learning how to accept help from other people. Because I feel like with this Nine of Pentacles energy, this is a highly independent energy, which I was already getting, that you feel like you have to do something yourself, or you feel like no one else is going to be as competent as you. And for the most part, Virgo, I absolutely agree with you that when it comes to competence, Virgo is generally unmatched. Virgo crosses their T's, dots their I's, and goes back and double checks everything. So I agree with you that your level of competence is high. But this is a spiritual lesson for you to ask for help and not just overlook opportunities because perhaps you feel like you need to control the situation. There may be even a little bit of a stubbornness coming from you here, Virgo, that you need to do it yourself. But the lesson here is about allowing other people, collaborations, cooperation. These types of energies are the thing that are going to give you success. And I feel like, again, this is a lesson for you, but you're going to be happy that you did it once you do it. And to really just allow this person to come in and delegate. That's what this is telling me. And you know how to intelligently delegate. There could be parts that you, Virgo, only you know how to do. But allow other people or another person to come in and do the things that you know they can handle, and keep the important stuff for yourself if you have to. But I see a lot of, with these 2 sixes coming in, it feels spiritually significant that there's something here that you have to release and not just think that you have to do everything yourself. So what else do I have for Virgo? Cheating to win, just jump, and holding on tightly. So this is that energy. This holding on tightly is giving me that same thing, that you feel like you have to control the situation. The cheating to win, I don't think is meant to be literal in this sense. I think that you will do anything it takes to get to that final outcome, the thing you are working on, the thing that you're controlling the energy of, the thing that you feel only you can do. And so it's not about cheating, but it's about cheating yourself from having a community of people who could really probably very much help you, but you're holding on too tightly to this independence, this idea that only you can do it. And the just jump is your advice to take a risk. Take a risk with asking for help, delegating, because that's where not only the spiritual lesson is, but you're going to see a jump in your successes if you just let go and allow people to help you or to delegate things to other people. So there's the 2 of Swords, the 2 of Wands, and the 2 of Pentacles. Okay, so Virgo, this is clearly, you are very much fluctuating on this. This idea that you know, probably intuitively, that you can release this, that you can allow someone to help you. The just jump, I like that it's coming in with the 2 of Wands, because the 2 of Wands is my favorite too, in the sense that it's a change of plans. You're seeing things from a different perspective. So Virgo, you might not be ready today, and I just saw 33 on the timer. You might not be ready today, Virgo, to take that risk or make that jump, but you're certainly thinking about it. So I love that for you, Virgo. And this holding on tightly to you doing all of the work. This is you. This is you multitasking. This is you spinning all the plates in the air. You're holding on too tightly to that. You've got to allow someone else to help you. So there you go, Virgo. That is what I have for you. So moving on to Libra. So for Libra, we have leader. Listen to your intuition. And holding yourself back for fear. So Libra, are you in a position right now where perhaps you are setting an example for other people? With this leader card here, it feels like people are looking at you, or people are looking for your guidance perhaps. Maybe you are leading a family, a business group, something. You're leading something, or at least you're setting an example, is what I'm really getting. I think that there is a need here for you to listen to your intuition. I think that Libra, you are very intuitive in general as a sign, but sometimes you allow your thinking mind to hold you back because you're an air sign. And so it's natural for you to want to use your head instead of your intuition. But the advice in this situation, especially if there are people looking to you for the answer, the advice is not to use your thinking mind, because your thinking mind is the thing that's going to keep you from doing what it is your intuition is trying to tell you to do, so that you can set an example for other people. So there it is. There's a person. Knight of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles, and the Ten of Swords. So there's certainly a person here, this Knight of Pentacles, and it's going to be different for everybody, because this could be a lover, this could be a child, this could be a parent, this could be a boss, this could be your employees, it could be anybody in your community, people you are involved with. But I get this sense that this person wants to stay in your energy in whatever way that is. Your intuition might be telling you to allow this person or environment or situation to grow, but your fear is telling you, no, I got to end this right now. Your thinking mind, with all of these swords and holding yourself back for fear, your thinking mind is saying, I got to get out of here right now. I'm going to stick a fork in this. I'm done like dinner. I'm done with this person. I have to go. But I feel like this person is looking to you for the answers. So make this make sense for you, Libra, because I don't know the context of this story. But your intuition is trying to tell you to let it grow, to see what happens. You've come so far. You're invested in this. Knight of Pentacles is usually a pretty good investment. The Knight of Pentacles is reliable. They show up. They do what they say they're going to do. So this person is showing up in that energy is already a good sign. Your intuition is telling you to hold. It's your fear that's telling you to be done with this. So set the example for this person by allowing your patience and your intuition to overcome what your thinking mind is telling you. So what else do we have for Libra? Spending time with friends. So for some of you, this could be a friend group. Child could be a child, but I don't get necessarily more child. I get that this could be a parent. For some of you, you could be the child and you're dealing with a parent. And then you have pursuing. Well, to me, this just feels, Libra, like there is a need for you to really tap into a more lighthearted energy, because the Seven of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords are very heavy types of energies for anyone to be in. So I feel like this is more about spending time with the people who uplift your heart and uplift your emotions and uplift your soul. So if that is friends, if it is your children, if it's tapping into your inner child, if it's about being childlike and playful, that's what I believe is happening. I think that's the thing that's going to help you get into alignment with the pursuing. I feel like if you lighten up your mood a bit, because if you're in fear, we know you're in fear. We know you're ready to be done like dinner with this situation. But the advice is saying to wait, hold. Don't stick all these forks in this just yet. To be more lighthearted is what this is doing. So if there are a soul tribe that you spend your time with, talk to your spirit team, even talk to your spirit guides, talk to your friends, talk to your children, act like a child, go run around outside, whatever that is for you. But I think it's, if you elevate your vibration, you're going to be able to listen to your intuition more, which is really saying to stay put. So there's the Five of Wands, the Ace of Swords, and the Three of Pentacles. So this Three of Pentacles is confirming for me that you are meant to stay in this. You are meant to continue to work together with this person. But this is about raising your vibration. This is about elevating your emotions, because we have these blue cards here too, and this card is blue. But I feel like this is about elevating your emotions, Libra, and not being so much in your thinking mind. That this situation that's causing you tension right now, whatever this is you're feeling with this person, that you feel like you just want to be done with it, get out of that situation and go hang out with friends. Being childlike, being playful or creative, or whatever those childlike energies are for you, that's when you're going to have your biggest breakthrough moment. And then you'll be able to get into alignment with this person. But this is very clearly about pausing and elevating your emotions. And then you'll be able to see the truth of the situation more clearly. So Libra, that is what I have for you. So moving on to Scorpio. So for Scorpio, we have compassionate person. Well, that does sound like you. Being stressed and regretting. So Scorpio, did you recently stress yourself out, perhaps? Because with compassionate person and regretting, I'm getting the sense that you feel like you may have hurt another person, and that feeling alone is the thing that's keeping you up at night. So we have the King of Wands, the Eight of Wands, and the Page of Wands. So there is another person here. They're showing up as both the King and the Page of Wands. I feel like this is someone who is extremely passionate about you. And I think that they feel like they want to make things right with you. So it feels like this is in alignment. It feels like they would like to approach you. But it feels like you regret something. So did this person this person may have done something to you, is what I'm getting. That maybe you even regret allowing this person into your energy in the first place. Maybe you offered them too much love. Maybe you offered them too much of something with your compassion. And I feel like whatever maybe perhaps they did, because I'm getting that you're regretting ever letting them in your life, and they're stressing you out, maybe because they're coming towards you. Because this can also be read as an aggressive energy between the King of Wands, the Eight of Wands, and the Page of Wands. This could be someone who's like, answer the door, answer the door, answer the door, answer the door, you know, like that kind of energy. I'm getting that too. So all of this could absolutely be contributing to stress if you're feeling stress levels when it comes to this. But this also, I'm reading that there's a strong chemistry, that there's some attraction, there's some spark, there's some passion, because even in the word compassionate is passion, and I'm being drawn to that. So I think there's a strong passionate and magnetic attraction between the two of you. But from a purely emotional stance, I think that it's stressing you out. So let's see, what else? So we have spontaneous person, working hard, and multitasking. So I feel Scorpio, like right now, you're just trying to distract yourself with work and taking on extra work, perhaps working overtime or working on the weekends or working on two things at once or taking care of your business and your home, whatever that is for you, because you're feeling like you just need to get away from this. The spontaneous person is giving me this idea that you're out of here, that they keep knocking on the door. So I'm going to go stay in a hotel for the weekend just to get some peace and get some work done. So obviously that's not literal, but what I mean is I feel like you're just trying to really put some distance, because I can't help but feel that this feels a bit aggressive. There's a lot of fire here for you to be regretting and stressed. So there's the High Priestess. Oh, the Devil, which I'm going to flip over. And the Ten of Cups. Okay, your intuition is really starting to wake up about this person. And that's why I was getting that passionate energy, because I feel like with the Devil here, it feels like an unhealthy attraction to this person. Your intuition showed up right here. Your intuition was telling you to get out of Dodge. go stay somewhere else while this person's knocking on your door, metaphorically. So if this person is blowing up your phone, or if this person just won't leave you alone and you feel like you keep getting sucked back into it because you're attracted to them, I feel like your intuition is waking you up to the fact that you know that this is not healthy anymore and that you're going to focus on other things right now, Scorpio. You're working hard, you're multitasking. Here's the 10 of Cups, which tends to be about family. So maybe you are taking care of the business and the home and your children, or whatever that is for you. But whatever makes you happy, you're focused on that now. And you're moving away from this toxic energy that we were getting, because I do see that you were stressed about it. I do see that you're regretting it. And so I think that that's the best way, is to, I think you're doing exactly what you're being called to do. I think your intuition is telling you that. And I also see you doing that. But I also think it's going to require quite a bit of strength for you to pull yourself away from this person, because they are so magnetic and they are so aggressive. And by that, I just mean they're relentless. They don't give up, because they are as equally magnetized to you. And so I do think that it is going to require you working to stay away from this person and focus on the things that actually make you happy, and continuing to listen to your intuition, which, Scorpio, you are a highly intuitive sign anyway, so it shouldn't be that hard for you to know exactly what your intuition is telling you, especially if you're in a situation that's stressful or regretful. So that is what I have for you, Scorpio. So moving on to Sagittarius. So for Sagittarius, we have setting boundaries, compromise, and hardworking person. So I do feel like you are being called right now, Sagittarius, to take that middle ground. And I think that you're good at that. So for example, in tarot, the Temperance card is your card. It's about cooling off the fires. It's about bringing things together to try to see eye to eye on things. If there was an argument, if there was a dispute, there is something here that you're being asked to do that. But I feel, again, like Sagittarius, that's generally a pretty easy thing for you to do. But I do see you setting up some pretty strong boundaries. And with this hardworking person, this is, I don't know yet what this is, and we'll see if the more of the context comes through. But you're trying to work on something, and I feel a very disruptive type of energy that you're like, I'm trying to get stuff done. Why do you keep bothering me? But then there's also this need of this call to compromise. So Sagittarius, what this is giving me so far is that it feels like you are maybe doing too much work and not enough play. Does that sound like you? Maybe you need to play more in your life and not work so hard. Oh, look at that. The 8 of Pentacles. That's the hardworking card. The Hermit. And the 8 of Cups. Okay, this makes perfect sense to me, especially with these two 8s. You're working too hard, Sagittarius. You're focusing too much on work. You're setting up boundaries, perhaps with people. You're spending time alone. You're detaching from the people who want to be around you because you're working hard. And there's nothing wrong with working hard. And maybe right now it feels like this is very important that you get this work done. And I am not saying that you are not right. What I'm saying is the cards are telling you to compromise, that the advice is to compromise, and that you may live better if you spend time with other people, because the Hermit is a very specific energy. The Hermit is very specifically spending time with yourself because you're working on spiritual progress. But in this case, the cards are saying, well, yes, that's an important thing, but you're not meant to stay in hermit mode forever. You're meant to come out and share what you learned in your interpersonal relationships. So I do get the sense, like I see you just like sitting in an office with the doors shut and the blinds pulled, and you're working, which is a wonderful quality, Sagittarius. But at some point, you have to come out of that. You have to open the office door and walk out, detach. Leave that work behind, because that work will still be there tomorrow. Come out of your hermit mode, because there are, I don't see people here, but I know it's about people. That there are people who want to see you, want to spend time with you, but they feel like you're always working. So what else do I have for you? Believe in your dreams. Is that what you're working on? Manipulating and getting what you want. So this could be a dream that you are working on. It could be so important to you. This is like your wish with getting what you want. But again, this manipulating is giving me the energy of you just really manipulating the environment around you, like I just said. You're in an office, the doors are shut, it's locked, it's dead bolted, the blinds are down, no one can see you, no one can get you, your phone is on do not disturb. It's that. You're manipulating the situation so that no one can come to you because you think it's what you want. So the advice is saying, again, do that work. Please do that work. This is your dream. This is your wish. This is why you're spending so much time doing it. But I can feel that there are people or a person or someone who needs your attention, wants your attention, and not only just for them, but for you, because it's good for you and your interpersonal relationships to allow these people to come in every once in a while. It's okay to come out of the hermit cave. It's okay to detach from that and still believe in your dreams, still work on your dreams, still get your wishes, but to do both, because we do have compromise right here. So what else? So there's strength, 5 of Cups, and the 3 of Cups. These are the people we were talking about right here. So I do feel like with the strength card here that it's going to require a lot of energy for you to separate yourself from the energy that you're currently in. But with this 5 of Cups, these cards are saying you very well could regret overlooking that there are people here who are also supporting you, people who are celebrating you, people who want to help you fulfill your dreams, or at least support them, but they just want to see you and hang out with you. So I can't help but notice, so there's 3 cups here, right? These are your friends or your people, the people who want to be around you. But in this card, these 3 cups that they're holding here, 3 cups here, these 3 cups are all spilled over. And you can't get those cups back. You can't get the liquid that's back in those cups. And that's what the emotions are. So I feel like there is this like foreshadowing or foretelling of the story that if you continue to stay in your office with the door bolted and the blinds down, metaphorically, that you could regret that. And that when you do finally fulfill these dreams and you do get your wishes fulfilled, you still want to have these people around you to help you celebrate. So this is a very specific message for a very specific Sagittarius, I think. But if you do feel like you've been isolating yourself from people, the advice is please don't do that. You can still continue to fulfill your dreams, fulfill your wishes, work on everything, but don't neglect the people because they're more important and they will be more important than you realize. So that is what I have for you, Sagittarius. So moving on to Capricorn. So for Capricorn, we have choose from your higher self, green light, and seeing the way clearly. Okay. Well, typically if you listen to your higher self and you go in the direction of your higher self and you listen to your intuition, that is the way. That is when the lights turn green. That is when it's the way ahead is completely clear and you see each step as they come. Again, so I know on this channel we talk a lot about the lazy river. Well, Capricorn, this to me feels like you're doing that. You're floating down the lazy river. If you listen to your intuition and you listen to your higher self and where you're being guided, then life suddenly becomes a lot more smooth. Everything seems to happen. The lights turn green. You can see where you're going. You're not lost at all. You're like, oh, life makes perfect sense to me. That's when you do choose from your higher self. And that's the advice here, is to listen to your higher self. Wow. So there's the Empress, the Knight of Cups, and the Fool. So Capricorn, is this about a new love interest or just a love interest in general? It doesn't have to be new specifically, but I see that you have done a lot of spiritual work. You know how to tap into your higher self. You know how to co-create with the universe. You have probably learned how to love yourself, with the Empress being so squarely here in your reading. You've done a lot of internal work is what this is saying, because you're connected to your heart space. You're connected to your higher self. And so this is fantastic, Capricorn, because what this tells me is there's a person in your energy who's ready to come forward, ready to give you their heart. And the universe is giving you the green light to do that. The universe is saying, here is a blessing we are giving right to you, so make sure you take it. And I see you doing that. You see that this is the person. You see it's a blessing. You see the green light. Because you know how to love yourself. You realize that this person will also love you the way you deserve to be loved. And so I see you taking the risk on it. I see you going for it. Wow, that's cool. So what else? So we have changing plans. Listen to your higher self. Choose from your higher self. Interesting. I feel like you've gotten really good about this. Adventurous person. So Capricorn, did you just go through some kind of metamorphosis? Because you are so connected spiritually. You are connected to your spirit team. You're connected to your intuition. You're connected to your heart space. The universe is giving you rewards. They're giving you, in the form of a person, at least, there's a person coming in. But I feel like you really heard the call, because with changing plans and adventurous person, you heard something through your intuition. And I just saw 55-55 as I said that. You heard something that said, go the other way. You're going the wrong way. You're swimming up the lazy river. So you're swimming against the current. You're going the wrong way. You're going to end up in the wrong spot. But you listened and you did go the other way. And you said, you know what? I'm just going to go try that. Why don't I try going the other way? I'm adventurous. I feel like I could do that. And you did. And I think that's why all of this is happening. Wow. This is the same person. This Queen of Cups and this Knight of Cups are the same person. Four of Cups and the Three of Wands. I think perhaps, Capricorn, in the past, did you overlook this person and you thought you didn't want them? Because this is saying you overlooked a blessing in the past. That's what this is saying. But you changed your mind. You listened to your intuition and you said, well, wait a minute. Maybe this is my person, or maybe this is someone I need to have in my life. Maybe this is... But it required you getting in touch with your heart space, perhaps healing your heart space, getting in touch with your higher self. But your higher self told you that this is a blessing and don't overlook this person. So Capricorn, I feel like you recently started looking at a person differently. And then that adventurous side of you who said, well, let's go the other way. You know now that you're manifesting in the right way. Didn't this say seeing the way clearly? That's exactly what the Three of Wands is. It's about seeing that your ships are coming in. You can see them. You see that this person is your person, or the blessing, in whatever way that is for you. For many of you, this is going to be romantic because of the Knight of Cups, but it doesn't have to be. Whoever you were calling in, you're realizing now you were swimming the wrong way, perhaps going towards the wrong person. And then all of a sudden, your higher self was like, oh, it's so obvious. I'm going the wrong way. I'm supposed to be with this person. And it seems so clear now. Oh, that's a really interesting reading, Capricorn. So that is what I have for you. So let's move on to Aquarius. So for Aquarius, we have resting, meditate, and not making a decision. So Aquarius, I do get the sense that you are pondering something. With resting and meditate and not making a decision, it's an idea of you spending time alone. It's giving a very Four of Swords type of energy, where you're really kind of relying on your intuition right now, because your thinking mind is tired. Your mind is tired of trying to figure out the answer to this. And so I do think too that the advice is for you to meditate and not use your thinking mind. As Aquarius, you're very intelligent, and so you like to discover things, but you tend to do that through your thinking mind. The advice is you're not going to find the answer that way. That's why you could be exhausted. It's why your brain could be fried right now. Whatever you're trying to make a decision on, the answer is going to come from your intuition. So the advice is to meditate. So there's the Five of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Six of Swords. So you're definitely being called to move away from something. So if the choice is between staying and moving on, Aquarius, your intuition is trying to tell you that the shift in the energy is going to come from escaping some situation, environment, relationship, whatever that is for you. It's this thing is exhausting you, it's draining you. Um it feels like spiritual poverty with this Five of Pentacles. And so you see in this card, there's two people here and they're in the snow and they don't have shoes on and they're sick or ailing in some way. And this person is looking down at the ground in very much victim mentality. This is you. You're with this person, but you're looking up at this window and you're saying, well, wait a minute. Do we have to keep doing it this way? Because there might be something in there that could help us. And so I feel like that you're taking a break from whatever this situation is. Again, it feels like spiritual poverty. The advice is to meditate because you're going to see a shift in the energy. You're going to see a shift in the perspective where you're going to just have that aha moment where you realize that you do not have to stay here with no shoes in the snow. That it's time to just allow your guides to guide you away from this decision. Let your guides and your intuition make the decision for you so that you can move away from being in the snow with no shoes, metaphorically. So what else for Aquarius? Taking on responsibilities, arguing. Yeah, this feels like this relationship. And let it burn. Yeah, that's same message, just different. That it was taking on such a toll on you, this relationship. Like being in the snow with no shoes on, eventually your feet are going to get gangrene and you're going to lose your toes, right? Like it's not sustainable is the point. And so it feels like whatever these responsibilities you were taking on, it wasn't sustainable. And there may have been arguing. There may have been very much. I'm looking right at the word arguing. So Aquarius, I can't downplay the fact that there could have been really bitter fights between the two of you. But again, this is all leading in this direction of allowing the energy to shift. Let It Burn is just saying, let this go. And that song, that Usher song, Let It Burn, could be significant to you. But this is about just saying it's got to go. And no matter how much maybe love I have for this person or how much loyalty I have to this person, I have to let this go because it's not for me. I need to free myself of this. Oh, wow. So there's the Nine of Swords, the Page of Cups, and the Queen of Wands. These are two different people here, Aquarius. So I think part of where you're being led by your guides is to a new person, this Queen of Wands person. And don't worry about gender. Gender matters not at all. But I do get the sense that this person that you were dealing with here, that you were very loyal to, the one who stressed you out and made you walk in the snow with no shoes on, I feel like that person offered you very little by way of help, emotions. They just feels more like they were more of like a fire starter, but then they played the victim. Does this sound right to you, Aquarius? Because I feel like that's what's happening. And it only made you stressed and burdened and drained. But your guides are wanting to help you out of this. And it starts really with you meditating and allowing this past relationship to really fall apart. Because I don't see anything good coming out of this. What I do see is a person here who's showing up in a Queen of Wands energy who is very self-confident. So maybe just like a good role model for you is coming in. Maybe you don't have a strong sense of self-confidence or self-worth or self-value, but the Queen of Wands does. And so you could be being led to a person who can set a really good example for you and teach you how to have more confidence in yourself and not allowing people in victim mentality to lead the way. This person was leading your life. But I feel like your intuition and your guides are really saying, let's get out of here. Let it burn. Let's escape this. Let's get out of here. And they're going to take you to this Queen of Wands person, whoever that is for you. So that is what I have for you, Aquarius. So finally, let's move on to Pisces. So for Pisces, we have talkative person, be the best version of yourself, and learn the lesson. So Pisces, are you being called to perhaps have a conversation? Do you want to have a conversation with someone? You're definitely in the middle of a spiritual lesson right now because I'm staring right at learn the lesson. I feel like you've been elevating. I feel like perhaps you have been becoming better at communicating. Perhaps there's been increases in balance in your throat chakra, but there's something that maybe you want to talk about because you're ready to talk about it, because you are improving something about yourself. And there's a spiritual lesson here. Maybe you're not a very good communicator, but you're becoming a good communicator. So there's the Ace of Wands, Temperance, and the Magician. So is there a person in the past that you used to argue with or that you do currently? Does it feel like there's a person in your energy who it feels like oil and water? Because I feel like that's the lesson. That's the opportunity. The universe is giving you this opportunity with a person who you clash with, but it was done purposefully by the universe to help you learn something about yourself. And so there's an opportunity here for the two of you to have a conversation that's coming up because there's an Ace of Wands here. I can see that you want to talk to this person. Perhaps you know that you're being tested by your guides. But the best version of yourself is going to temper this argument, to pour water on the fire, so to speak. And I feel like Pisces, you would be the perfect person to do that because you do have a lot of water in you, that element of passion and love and compassion is what I meant. Compassion and love and that really watery, fluid type of energy where you can pour the water onto this fire if need be. And I think that that's it. I think that's the lesson, Pisces. If you can do that, you get to elevate and start your whatever you want to manifest is yours. Sometimes the lessons are just that simple, Pisces. That the next time this person comes in and starts an argument with you, in the past, if you used to clash with them, just say, you know what? Thank you for your opinion and go back to eating your cheese sandwich, Pisces. And I think you're going to get your manifestations. I really think it's that simple. I've never read anything like that before, which is fantastic, but try it and let me know. So what else do we have for Pisces? So don't let confusion stop you. Control your impulses. Didn't we just say that? And keep your hopes high. That's a lot of spiritual advice coming through. So Pisces, it's what I said. This person might come in and tell you something that's absolutely ludicrous. This person might come in and say that the sun moves around the earth. And you know that isn't true. But instead of allowing that person to get under your skin or whatever it is for you, I mean, that particular example is a really silly example, something that you know is not true, but yet you can't help yourself. It's like you have to say what's on your mind. This is saying don't do that. That's the lesson. You're being tested to control it, temper it, pour water on this person's fire, and go back to eating your cheese sandwich. And because keep your hopes highest coming in with this Magician, this is confirming to me that your blessings can start to come in. This is a lesson. And if you pass the test, which this clearly is, if you pass this test, you will be rewarded because you always are. And it seems like a fairly simple type of thing. The Chariot, wow. The Ace of Pentacles, wow. I told you, didn't I just say this? The Chariot is here saying move forward with your life. Do not let this person keep you from your own spiritual growth. Do not allow this person to keep you in spiritual poverty because they want to argue with you. See above it. Rise above it. Keep your hopes high. And here are your blessings. We just said that. I just said that's all you have to do. It's blocking your blessings by needing to be right or arguing back with this person to say thank you for your opinion and move on with your day. And that's when the floodgates open, Pisces. This is like the best reading I've ever done because it's so simple, but you get everything you want. Victory, the blessings, the wishes, everything. This is you getting what you want because all you did was not let this person get under your skin. Do not allow this person to control your life and your blessings. Thank them for their opinion and get your blessings. Wow, Pisces, that was a really fun reading. Please let me know how this is resonant for you. And we will do this again sometime. Thanks, everybody. Bye.